Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Mira, and I will be playing Sammy Satomi today. And with me is the very wonderful.
That is me, Fletch. I am very excited to be here. I love Sammy a whole lot, and I love my friend Mira a whole lot, so it's gonna be
And I
fun.
love and I love you too, Fletch, and I hold Camille very, very soft. To start things off, Camille, how is your day going? What are you up to right now?
um, well, that depends, because depending on the day, Camille might just be like at school or going home from school. And by going home, I mean usually he goes to the detective agency for with
Mhm.
Moria.
Mhm.
Uh,
All right.
he does have a tendency to wander into trouble though, so if he does see something, he's very liable to just immediately chase it down like a feral little puppy.
Mhm. All right. So you're kind of walking through Villestown. Roll me a perception real quick.
All right, time to pull out his horrible little perception modifier. I almost said deception out of habit.
Okay, with an unnatural 24, you get you're walking along and then you're passing by an alleyway that's kind of shadowy. You have experience with how shadowy alleyways tend to attract the more unsavory type of tunes because that's just really thematically appropriate.
Yeah.
And sure enough, there seems to be going on like a very hushed hissed conversation between two very suspicious looking weasel tunes. They're trying to be suspicious, but I'm not even gonna roll for them. They're that 24, my dude. That wow.
Yeah, he was made to see.
Yep, and sure boy does he see. Uh, are you going to use stealth, or are you just gonna kind of waltz right in there?
He's gonna try stealth at first, but that's not something he's proficient in. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
see how it goes. Yeah.
Well, it it beats their passive, so you're able to kind of sneakily sneak up to these two weasel tunes as they're hissing at each other. And as you get closer, you realize that they're talking about a shipment, you think? And they both look incredibly nervous, like you get the sense that they might be a little behind on something, and some boss of theirs is going to have their heads if they don't manage to do what they're supposed to do.
Oh, wonderful. Uh, you don't need to be a detective to see where this is going.
Yep.
Yeah, Camille probably just settles in behind some crates to listen in on the conversation. Um, Probably at some point realizes, actually, maybe he shouldn't be a 6-year-old alone in a shady, dark alleyway listening into what is probably very much not an appropriate conversation to listen into.
Mhm.
Um, yes,
Okay.
it only occurred to him after he got here.
And unfortunately, Camille, uh someone turns around on walking into the alleyway behind you and uh roll me a deck save really quick.
Okay, that's a 16.
Okay. Unfortunately that's not gonna do it
No.
because that 18 right there was a grab,
Oh boy.
and you're suddenly unceremoniously picked up by the scruff of your neck,
Uh,
and a very weaselly uh, voice kind of just speaks up right above you because they're pretty average sized tunes. Definitely taller than you. You're definitely dangling off of the ground at this point. Well, looky here, we've got a little eavesdropper.
boy. Yeah, this sure does happen to him. Uh, he's kind of struggling, but his weakness as a 6-year-old child who's very small is being picked up. So,
Yep.
yeah, so he's currently just struggling. Maybe maybe tries to go and bite, but it doesn't go so well. He's very small.
Yep. And the two other Weasel tunes look kind of shocked at the fact that, oh wow, there was somebody here. Oh, oh shoot. Oh dear. Oh no. Uh, 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 they're very visibly panicked, while the one that's kind of holding you is. It seems like they're a lot more competent than these other two. You can definitely tell by the way they're holding you, though, that they are also a weasel tune. And the other two weasel tunes that were kind of hissing at each other, kind of look at each other and then at the third one that's holding you, and then go, uh, "Hi, boss. Uh, what are we gonna do with them?"
Camille's just like, uh, let me go.
And the one that is holding you kind of just shakes you a little and goes, "Nuh-uh. You've heard way too much. If we're gonna even let you go, we're gonna have to ransom you because these two chuckleheads have messed up the entire plan."
At the mention of ransom, Camille just sighs so very deeply. Because, oh boy, good luck with that. Uh,
Yep. Um, and as this is going on, you kind of experience a scene change where all of a sudden you kind of blink as the screen kind of side swipes clear, and all of a sudden you're tied fast into a chair in kind of a dark, kind of grimy room. It's wooden. Roll me just like a perception check since you are now tied up in a new room.
Wonderful. Let's see. That would be uh, 16.
Okay. 16. Yeah, you look around and quickly piece together that you are tied to a wooden chair with your hands kind of tied to your back. Uh, and then you're kind of tied to the chair that way. But they haven't really secured your feet because your feet can't touch the ground at all.
Yeah.
Uh, and you're looking around and you realize you're on the top floor of a warehouse, you think. There seems to be the shadows of some boxes that are stacked pretty high, but the floor around you is kind of clear. And I'm just gonna roll.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that was a 2 plus 2. Uh, and as you're looking around, you kind of see because you basically you notice the door right away that like kind of leads to like where you assume is a stairway down from the top of this area that you're in this warehouse, uh and another These weasel toons manage to drag between two of the two goon uh weasels manage to drag a rainbow haired 6 feet toon into the room, uh struggling, but my boy got a 4. He's not going anywhere.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Yep, and he uh you watch as he's ceremoniously dumped into what you assume is a chair right behind you, and tied up. And you notice the fact that he's blindfolded. You did not get the blindfold treatment, but this guy did.
The advantages of being a child, I guess.
Yep.
And also because it's really hard to see where you're going during a scene change, considering.
Yep.
uh, yeah, Kale kind of just sighs and mutters to himself, like, why do I always forget to call the police until it's too late?
And Louisel's kind of scurry back down. You can kind of faintly hear them talking about like prices for how much they think each of your families are gonna pay to get their troublesome tunes back unscathed. Just the very traditional tune villain discussions kind of going on. You do with that 16 though. You do kind of get the vibe that they're not gonna like kill you guys. They're not that kind of villain. They're Saturday morning fun villains. There's a rating they have to keep.
Yeah, which is probably the most jarring thing from this entire conversation is the fact that they're not killers.
Yep.
That's because Camille's used to dealing with murderers. He's strictly in the murder mystery genre. Uh,
Mhm.
so this is kind of refreshing, actually.
Yep. It is. Huh. I wonder exactly why that's going on. Uh. Anyway,
Yeah.
you uh the tune that's sitting right behind you, strapped to another chair, you presume, kind of you you hear him kind of go, "That's a really big mood, actually."
uh, Camille probably tries to turn his head back a bit, but I'm going to guess that his height is probably just at the backing of the chair, so he can't really see much.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, definitely.
um, so he's just like, uh, detective?
Yeah, kind of unofficial detective. Never actually went to a detective school. The plot just keeps eating me into these kind of things.
Yeah, you get a little chuckle in reply, like, yeah, I I know how that's like. And there's a bit of a pause where he's like, they didn't even ask who to ransom us to.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting the feeling that they're kind of new to this. Hell, the last two times I was kidnapped, it was by the same person, and the ransom bit is new, actually.
I yeah, usually I'm more used to the murder type kidnapping.
Yeah, mine's more of a tune trade aligned.
Mm, sounds pretty rough.
Yeah, yeah, it is, but so far it's worked out. Um, pretty sure we're probably gonna have to break free of this one just because, uh, I, like an idiot, did not tell my brother where the heck I was going today.
Kale's just like, yeah, uh, Yeah, we should probably get out of this ourselves.
Yeah, but we're not alone. That's actually kind of a new one. Sammy, by the way.
Camille, can you move your hands? Or since we're tied back
And
to back,
let's try, and I'm gonna roll Dex to see if my boy can. Well, actually, I'm gonna roll Sleight of Hand because it's basically trying to pick the knot underneath. But that was a 6 plus 6. Okay, that was actually a 12. Not too bad. He manages to kind of wriggle his fingers a bit, and I'm gonna say that he actually manages to kind of reach to your knots, Camille, and kind of starts to fiddle with them, and you can definitely feel them starting to loosen with that 12.
nice. Camille is probably going to attempt to do the same, so let's see where this goes. Also not proficient in sleight of hand. He's not the thief in this family. Oh, well maybe
Woo!
he is.
The
Also,
boy gets 23 for the listeners. Describe to me how you masterfully untie your fellow captive.
I they he has really small hands, which means really small fingers, which is probably good for like getting in the knots. Uh Not to mention it's probably not the first time he's had to untie things behind his back, so just uh like once his ropes are loosened a little bit, he uh tries to return the favor.
Hmm. And you definitely feel the ropes give way, and your fellow compatriot, in this kind of crazy scenario, turns around, pulls off his blindfold, and there's a momentary pause as you can audibly hear the blink blink animation sound effect as this tune takes in the fact that these guys kidnapped a kid.
Yeah, they kidnapped a very small 6-year-old Toon. Um, Actually, why don't you roll the investigation?
All right, investigation. What is your modifier for that? Oh, that's a straight D20. Oof, not very good. That's a 7.
Yeah, unfortunately, do not see through uh anything. So you just see a little 6-year-old Toon.
All right, Camille, you feel since Sammy actually now is not in the dire straits that he is in, he's gonna just go right to work at untying you the rest of the way. I'm not gonna have that roll, just for the fact that we would be here all day potentially if the dice were mean.
uh, a whole
And so he
FPS of Camille trying to coach Sammy through untying a knot.
That would be really, really sad. So we're not gonna do that. So you feel your bonds go slack and you're able to free yourself relatively easy. And you find yourself looking up at a 6 feet tall rainbow haired toon whose shading is kind of blue, but it's starting to slide to red as he kind of takes everything in and then he just mutters underneath his breath, "Yeah, I'm gonna punch that guy in the face."
Yeah. Uh, Camille is probably gonna I, throttle this child because really, is this the situation you decide? This is this really the hill you decide to die on? He's gonna roll an insight on Sammy.
All right.
Him trust issues? No.
Okay, interesting thing is that Sammy's a pretty open book. That's a 16. It's not hard to read the fact that this older tune is kind of pissed off that a kid is dragged into this, and you get the you get the vibe that he was telling the truth about the kind of commiserating, oh no, not this again. And then there is a definite protective element to his gaze as he looks you over just to make sure that they didn't actually scuff you up any more than they already did with just picking you up by the scruff.
Yeah. So Camille does take a moment to take this in before it's just like, yes, this is fine. He can deal with this. And probably moves over to help Sammy with the knots on his legs uh
hmm
if those haven't been undone yet.
Yeah, I'd say probably I'm not gonna have you roll just because you can see where the knots are.
Yeah.
So, quick work with making sure that that is wiped out, and I'm just gonna roll perception for Sammy. Was plus 5 to that 11 plus 5. That's a 16. He kind of notices the fact that the two uh the two bandits had gone downstairs and are hissing at each other, and he kind of peeks over the edge a little bit. And if you want, you can do the same.
Yeah, he is a nosy little pecker, so that's that one. uh, you know what
You
would be
don't
funny?
what?
If they didn't tie his legs to the chair because they tied his shoelaces together.
Yes, that's exactly the reason why Camille kind of goes thump onto the ground because Camille tripped. And Sammy's gonna kind of he's gonna roll stealth really quick because oh shoot, uh that is that is a noise. I don't want them to look up and see me peeking over the edge. That's a 16. That does beat their passive investigation mods.
Nice.
And they you kind of hear like a what's that? That's probably one of the captives just flopping onto the floor because they can't get their bonds free, and then they just kind of do that nasally laugh that a lot of villains tend to do. That exact laugh.
Yeah. Well, they're half right.
And Sammy kind of just turns to Camille and goes, "You okay?" In a kind of hushed whisper.
Camille gives Sammy a thumbs up before going to untie and retie his shoes.
Uh huh.
Uh,
Sammy kind of quietly, I'm just gonna keep that 16, and he's just kind of tiptoeing around, making sure not to squeak any boards.
yeah, that is very fair. Camille, thankfully, is. Don't question how weird it is for a 6-year-old to be able to tie their own shoelaces. Just, he does it fine. It's fine. He's got.
Look, some kids like hyper focus on learning how to tie their shoes.
Yeah,
Sammy's not gonna question it.
it's fine. I know, I personally didn't learn how to tie it until I was like 10.
Uh huh.
The knots
Yeah, I
did
can't
not go
remember when
well
I
with
did,
me.
but I remember struggling with knots as well. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Camille, once you're on your feet, why don't you roll me stealth real quick?
Alright. Let's see. Are you going to be bullied or is it gonna be. Okay, it's a no middle slider sort of situation.
With an unnatural 22, you're definitely as quiet as a mouse as you tiptoe after Sammy, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, and Sammy's gonna reach over to the door, uh, and unfortunately, these weasel tunes are a bit smart. They locked the door.
Well, that's a little bit of a problem.
Yep. Sammy kind of turns to you and goes, "You got a lockpick?"
Let me actually check his equipment. He might because he's a rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. uh, Camille is just quiet for a long moment before taking out his thieves' tools.
Uh, Surprisingly, you actually get an approving nod from Sammy as he sees you pull out your lockpicks.
He'll take it. And
And he kind of tilts his head to the door and goes, "You know how to use them?"
yeah, uh, well, and she's kind of wavering for a moment before going like, you might be better at it than I. But
Well, if you want, I'll borrow a lockpick.
Sammy is handed a lockpick.
All right, I'm gonna roll sleight of hand again. Okay, an 11 plus 6, that's 17. You watch as this tall toon kind of crouches down eye to eye level with the handle and then starts picking the lock with a surprising amount of dexterity. You kind of get the sense that maybe he's done this kind of thing before.
And that's pretty understandable considering his line of work.
Yep.
Uh, Because if you're kidnapped often, it is good to know how to pick a lock or two.
Yep. And the lock kind of clicks open with a quiet little stick sound as and Sammy kind of pulls out the lock picks and hands it back to Camille and goes, "Okay, I saw two of them down there. I think they're keeping watch slash debating on what to do with us. Uh, we have two options. We can try and fight them on our way out, or we can try and sneak around and just sneak past and get away scot free."
Neil thinks for a moment before going, it's probably best to not confront them directly because there's at least one more, and we don't know how big the operation is, though it probably isn't that big considering. And he
Yeah.
kind of devolves a bit into mumbles before going, though if they do find that we escape, they'll probably move everything.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay, Sammy, do you want to be heroic or are you going to do the sensible thing? Just gonna roll a d2 real quick to see if. Okay, yeah, he is going to do the sensible thing and he nods and then goes, "You have a good point, but even us just giving a tip to the police about this is probably going to be a bit better than trying to confront them, considering the fact that they knocked me flat on my rear earlier. I don't really want to fight them, especially with. Look, you're small. I don't want them to hurt you."
Gail kind of just raises an eyebrow, like, yeah, no duh, he's small. but but eventually not. It's like, well, there is another option.
Sammy kind of blinks down at Camille and raises his own eyebrow.
uh, And he's just like, well, considering that there's multiple of them, they probably have some form of information written down somewhere. Which means that if we can get a hold of that information, we might be able to, uh, you know.
Yeah, we can if we find where they keep all their paperwork, considering the fact that this is supposedly a trading operation of some sort.
Camille
Very
nods.
illicit trading. Why is it always illicit trading? And warehouses. Why is it always warehouses?
Camille kind of just shrugs because the aesthetic, maybe?
You know what? Aesthetic actually makes a lot of sense. Like he just kind of gives a little mushroom sigh. And then he looks at you and goes, okay, we're going to have to be really quiet just to make sure that we don't run into anything that we don't want to run into.
Yeah, Camille nods. Should also probably, keep our eyes out for the third one, or if there's more of them.
Sammy nods. And I want you to roll me stealth again.
Okay. Yeah, no middle sliders.
Oh no, Camille! Dice purser, why?
For reference to your audience, that was a nat one.
Eh. Uh, Sammy got a 22. But considering the fact that Sammy would be helping Camille be quiet, I'm gonna say that like again, you kind of just trip on your shoelaces, but Sammy manages to catch you before too loud of a cacophony happens, considering he got an unnatural 22.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to roll stealth one more time.
Yeah. You do hear a little bit of Grolix as Camille is caught, and something about shoelaces. Oh my gosh!
Dice purser,
That
roll
wasn't
one
that
more
one!
time.
Again!
Roll one more time. We at least gotta get that purser. Dice purser. Why? Okay, okay. Just
I
let
think
me
at this
roll
point,
for you. Let me just roll for you to
maybe
see
at
if
this
Dice
point,
purser. Okay, okay.
we can just say that after the third time he trips, Sammy just picks him up.
Yep. Yep, he definitely picks him up, and with the 10 that I rolled for you, just because Dice Parser was bullying you so much, um, that that's what keeps you from Nat failing again is just it just barely it meets their passive, so he just kind of scoops you up and like kind of like a football carry. And then it's just like do 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 do. We're walking down. We're getting down this ladder. Okay. Da, 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 da. Now I want you to roll me perception so we can maybe see where these guys are hiding their illicit receipts.
Okay.
Okay, that's a 12, and Sammy got a 15. So you see from kind of your perch on Sammy's hip, uh, about a lot of boxes. Surprisingly, a lot of boxes. That's kind of interesting, huh? Weird. What's
Yeah.
going on there? Uh, and Sammy kind of pauses for a moment as he's looking around these stacks and kind of creeping around the corridors that these stacks make, and uh, he actually pauses and goes, okay, these boxes are actually kind of familiar. And I'm gonna just roll a strength see if Sammy can maybe try and pry open one of these boxes. That was an 8 plus 2. That's a 10. He's very much struggling. Does anybody have a crowbar?
Yeah, it's fine. Camille will try to help if he's set down.
Yep, Sammy definitely did set Camille down.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of one of those boxes that's kind of closer to the ground, more towards your height, so you do have some leverage.
Alright. Then it is Camille's turn to try, or Sammy can re-roll because someone has a +2 and someone has a -2.
Okay, let's just say that Camille is giving the help action.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was a 7 plus 2 this time. This box is not budging. You both kind of like just strain against the top and
Mhm.
it just not budging.
You know what? Let's
Uh
see if we do have a crowbar. Yeah. Camille pulls out a crowbar. Don't ask how it got there. It's just Toon inventory be like that.
yep. Sammy's gonna kind of take the crowbar if it's proffered to him, and I'm gonna roll again, but this time with advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 16 plus 2. And let's see if we get an. Oh, we got a 19 plus 2 on that second roll. Okay.
Nice.
Uh, as Sammy kind of cranks open this box, it kind of goes crick, 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 as the nails come unpinned from the sides, and you both peer over the side, and they are all full of vials that are mysteriously rainbow colored.
Hmm.
And just gonna roll history for Sammy. That's a straight 18. Uh, Camille, are you looking at Sammy's face at all as he's looking down at this
Uh,
box?
yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's see.
Nice
Uh,
parser.
Parser? Hello?
Oh,
Okay. He's only allowed to get really good rolls interspersed with really bad rolls, so.
so was that insight or investigation? I just need to
That
clarify.
was insight, but I can do investigation if you want.
Okay, all right. As I'm describing what that 11 gets you, Camille, as you kind of look up at Sammy's face as he's staring down at this box full of mysteriously colored vials, you see his face kind of go dark, and there is black shading on him as he looks down. And then I'm just gonna roll to see how well. Okay, that was a 13 plus 1. It takes a bit before his shading goes back to a more muted dark red. You can kind of tell that he's pissed.
Yeah.
But with that 15, you look down at the vials and you realize that they have uh their uh they kind of have the consistency of uh ink.
That's
And
fun.
I just realized that whoops, this mild has turned into maybe a medium because I was just spitballing.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes that happens. Camille's just, oh boy, this isn't anything good. Uh,
And you're close enough that you definitely hear Sammy mutter, "I swear, if this is one of Sinclair's weird side contacts, I am going to lose a gasket."
uh, Sammy, you get a very small pat on whatever part of you that Camille can reach.
Yeah, that's probably like his leg.
Yeah, just a little pat on your leg, like, hey, I know it's, I know it's a lot, but if we have to go get that paperwork first.
Yep, and hopefully it'll be enough that this can get recovered instead of just squirreled away somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. And Sammy kind of carefully shuts the crate again. And he we're gonna roll perception one more time to see if we can actually find the paperwork.
Okay. Wait.
Okay, that was a 16 plus 5 for me. That whoop bonked my mic. Okay, with a 19 and a 21, you both are able to see a entryway, and you're pretty sure that's not the entrance that these guys dragged you in through. So you're pretty sure that that is the office.
Yeah. And so it's time to head on over and, you know, do a little thievery, but for good.
Yep, we're using our sleight of hand for good. Roll me stealth again.
Okay.
Oh
Purser.
dear, that's an 8.
At least it's not a nat one again.
At least it's not a nat 1. But that's an 11 plus 6. Uh, with 17. Unfortunately, Camille, that 8 was below the passive perception of the toons uh that are kind of off to the side, and you Sammy kind of hears a huh? What's that? And kind of just quickly grabs you and ducks into the office. And I want you to roll a sleight of hand to see how many papers you can manage to just grab in a hurry.
Yeah, panicky
Okay,
stupid.
12. Yep, and that is a 11 plus 6 for me. Uh, you don't get to grab as many as you would like just
He
because you're
is,
tiny and
yeah,
panicking.
he is very
Uh,
small and
but
has
you kind of
very little
see,
hands.
and you just kind of see Sammy grab the entire contents of a files drawer and shove it up a sleeve.
Yeah, Camille is shoving his stuff into his hammer space too.
And then Sammy is going to grab you, just kind of hoist you up and book it.
Yeah,
Uh,
at this point, Camille has gotten very used to getting hoisted up by this dude. Just like, yeah, sure, this is happening now. Uh,
yep. You guys are running at this point. Stealth has gone out the window. You've hopefully gotten what you have tried to success to get. Hopefully you got the evidence you need. You don't really have time to check, so you have no idea. And Sammy's just booking it because you have tiny short legs and he
yeah,
has long legs. So he go noom.
he do go noom. Um, okay, so question, are we being chased and are they within Camille's line of sight? Because he might be having a bad idea.
Uh, well, let me just really quickly look at their speed. They are they go 30 feet, but Sammy has a speed of 40, so they're a little bit behind, but they're 10 feet behind you guys at this point as you are being zoomed down the hallway.
Yeah, Camille's gonna pull out he's gonna pull out his little gun. leaning very close to a fumble there, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so is gonna do a shoot at one of them. Probably at disadvantage considering the fact that he's currently being held like a football.
Yep. I will say that like you're basically kind of facing towards them.
Yeah.
So like Sammy just kind of grabbed you and like your butt is hanging in the air.
It's fine. He'll make the best of it.
Oh, okay. A 10 does not make it, I'm afraid. It just kind of goes pew pew and bounces off and hits one of the crates.
Unfortunate.
Uh, um, luckily they don't have ranged. These two don't have ranged weapons, so they're just kind of trying to catch up, but they're just stuck at 10 feet behind you guys.
Which is fine with Camille. uh,
And Sammy is going to let me just look at awesome.
would Sammy
Sammy is
question the gunshot noise?
I feel like he kind of takes a glance over at the fact that the gunshot kind of came right next to his ear and not 10 feet behind him, and it's like, oh, kid has a gun. Okay, we'll unpack that later. We are numing right now.
It's fine. It looks like a toy gun.
But Sammy is actually going to cast Dissonant Whispers, and my target needs to uh, roll. One of the weasels has got to make a whiz save, so we're just gonna see how this goes. That's a straight d20. Oh, yeah, no, that definitely does not make the save. Uh, let's see, how much damage does that cast? I think it's 3d6 of damage. So,
That's a lot of damage.
yeah, that's a lot of damage right there. The 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 one that got hit by the dissonant whispers, you Camille, you just kind of hear Sammy's voice kind of hissing something in Grolix. I don't really know what he said right now, but uh you
It's
kind of
fine.
just
It was
hear him
something
hissing.
incredibly rude. And
Yep,
that's all we need
and
to know.
you just like kind of see like these interesting little like rainbow hued symbols kind of popping in front of the weasel's face before uh flashing into purple as the weasel failed the save, turns right around and starts booking it down the hallway in the opposite direction, screaming. So now you only have one weasel chasing you.
Yeah, Camille's just like, nice one. And he's gonna try and do a shoot again.
Mm-hmm.
This time he's a little bit better
Okay.
at aiming.
Yep. A 14 hits. Roll me some damage.
Okay, nice. 9 damage.
All right, 9 damage. Good job, Camille. And I'll say like right around this time is when Sammy rounds a corner and the entrance is in sight. And he just kind of books it for the last little bit. Uh, you kind of see movement coming from the left side, but Sammy's way too fast for this the third person to actually catch up to him because again, my boy is moving at 40 feet. These guys move at 30. And so you two are out of there with your illicitly gained evidence.
It's fine. they
Yep.
were they were illicitly gained in the first place, so
Yep. And Sammy just kind of keeps on running uh until like he kind of notices the fact that these Saturday morning toon cartoon villains have kind of just given up, and then he just kind of skids to a halt and goes, "Okay, uh, I'm new to this area. Where's the police station?"
all right. Um, what should I roll to see if Camille knows, or has he visited
Just
it enough to?
roll history. Roll history.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, yep. With your interactions with Moria and her detective agency, you definitely know where a police station is. If not like you can all like, and you could also even just go to Moria herself if you wanted.
That is true. He probably does have to tell her about it after all this.
Mhm. Because it would get back to her, considering I'm pretty sure she has contacts within the actual police department, considering her line of work.
Yeah, that does tend to come with that line of work.
Yep. So with that 18, you could either direct Sammy to Moria's or you could direct Sammy to the police station.
Hmm. Let's let's roll D2 and see. Maria's.
All right. uh, I'm gonna just roll a survival to see just how well Sammy can follow your directions. That's a 10 plus 5. If I can actually get into the right window. 10 plus 5, 15. Yeah, you guys don't manage to get lost on your way in a post adrenaline muddled haze. And you're able to go to Moria's and just tell her about this really crazy adventure you had. And oh, hey, look, evidence. If you want to take it to the proper authorities for us, that would be great.
Yeah, I think Morsky's popping on too if you want.
Yes, Morsky, you can, in fact, come on if you want. We can make this a quick cameo three-way.
Sometimes doing cameos is fun. Also,
So
you want to
yeah,
know something funny?
what?
Uh, this whole um, Abby was talking about close calls, and guess what's in Camille's fumble chart?
What?
Holy bleep. Also, hi, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi!
Hello.
Hi, Morsky!
I have no idea what's happening, which I think is fitting because Moria wouldn't either.
More.
Just,
Yep,
um,
just
you.
like at this point, she's probably just at home, did some paperwork. Hey, maybe she can think about ordering more cake. You know, normal things, right?
And then you
Um,
have a tall 6-foot rainbow haired toon burst into the office, the
like
front door,
Moria, holy fuck.
with Camille held to his hip like a football.
there is a beat of silence as Moria looks upon the sipster Tiana's. You friend there, Camille. What did you two get into?
I
Nice to
mean,
meet you, by the way. This is pointed at Sammy.
yeah,
By this point, Sammy has set Camille down and goes,
Camille.
uh, "Hi, I'm Sammy Satomi. We have some evidence for you." It's very
I'm
obvious he's out of breath right now because he
roll me
ran.
insight. Roll me insight for funsies.
Yeah, and you
You
can
can
roll.
both do that if you
All
want.
right, that is a
Maria can
funny
also roll
monster
in. Okay,
insight
nat 20, I guess.
Not 20. Okay,
with
let
a
me.
17.
Oh my god. Yeah, you both catch that. Let me just find Moria's sheet because I just dashed over here. Essentially, I will find the emoji that encapsulated, but she's like, here we, oh, like, dear lord, here we go again.
It's fine. It's
Sammy just
It's
kind of
fine.
Sammy just kind
Moria
of like
is internally doing that. She's not upset at you two, by the way. She's just like, holy bleep, do kids ever get a break? That's an 11. Moria, please.
I will say with an 11, you can tell that something very much did happen, and Camille is just, he's not gonna mention it until he has to. uh,
Moria's just kind of look at that with a beat and like, could I hear the whole story, please? Also, are you two okay? Do I need to beat someone up?
there is
She's
like just
saying
kind
this
of like a
very nonchalantly, by the way. Just okay. Who got my kids?
there's
Sammy,
just
you're
like
first now, I guess.
oh, okay. Sammy just there's a very audible blink from Sammy, and he just kind of opens his mouth, and Moria just like but jumping back off of that insight that was for Camille. With an 11, you can kind of notice that Sammy is very disheveled, and like his rainbow curls, are kind of just going every which way.
It's
Like
fair.
he looks like he's from a whirlwind.
She's going to shoo you two onto like the couch or whatever, and like genuine question of, okay, is there someone chasing you who I need to beat up? You probably see her just pick up her lance and like slide it to in her pocket or what have you, and then just like get you guys some drinks or something. Just genuine question of, okay, what do I need to worry
yeah,
about?
Camille's just like, oh, we're not being chased anymore.
Yeah, I was luckily enough to be faster than them for once. Uh, but I
Mori's
think
gonna tuck that for once away for later.
Sammy just kind of goes, so we both got jumped, got uh basically held for ransom, even though they were really stupid at it and didn't even ask for contact details. Uh, we managed to get free and sneak around, get the paperwork. I'm gonna roll my d10 real quick.
Mhm.
That was a 7.
Ooh, thank
Uh,
you.
and there is a very
Eh.
comedic thwump as a huge stack of papers just all neatly stacked into a huge mountainous stack hits the table.
Yeah, and then
That's
Camille
valid.
adds paper garnish on top. uh,
Mari appreciates it. You get a nod of thanks, and you'll note that she places that, like, she will likely put it on her desk, but on a site that's a bit more hidden. You wouldn't see this stack of papers immediately. Um, and she's like, okay. I'm kind of tempted whether I make her roll an investigation or something to see if she can find whoever these are later and just handle
Yeah,
them. But
uh, roll me investigation just to see how much information you can kind of peruse through the papers.
Moria, please roll well. I'm begging you. 16. Thanks.
Okay. With a 16, you quickly realize that this is uh, indeed kind of loosely tied to a case that you've kind of managed to hear about with the case about Sinclair that had been kind of on headline news, kind of probably all across Inkwell. And you kind of quickly figure out that this is just smuggling efforts of uh, very uh, uh, kind of like the stragglers who are still trying to function without the person who was in charge of this whole entire operation ring.
Ah, that's cool. This is something she can just like neatly do when she goes on her cake run. Just something small, you know. It's good. I hope they like lances to the face. Anyways, um, she is going to note that, put that away, and like actually ask, "How are you two holding up after all of that?"
Camille's just like, oh, I'm fine. And
I'm going to roll inside you, picnic.
Sammy's actually gonna roll insight on that too. Oh, come on, Sammy. Was a +1. He got a 10.
Come on, Moria. Please, that's a 15.
He does genuinely look unbothered by this situation.
Can I try
though-
again? Moria knows that you keep on lying.
I mean, this isn't even the part he's rolling deception on.
Oh my goodness, fine, roll your deception. What?
Yeah, like once he notices both of you giving him a hard stare, he's just like, I read a lot of detective novels, so it's pretty exciting. It's like I was a detective myself.
Heck
Oh.
you. 21!
No.
I'm gonna say, even if that doesn't quite catch it, where it's like, Camille, have you been kidnapped before?
Sammy's gonna open his big fat mouth and go, uh, yeah, no, don't lie to us, kid. I can tell when someone's had similar experiences to me.
Considering my own experiences with kidnapping, like, I think we all know what it's like in here, and you're getting a very deadpan look.
And Sammy just kind of nudges Camille, like, just kind of gently and goes, it's okay not to be okay. It's also okay to be okay. But if you don't have to lie about how you're dealing with things.
And there's a nod from Moria at that. She sat down too, by the way.
Man, this child is just being bullied.
Yep.
Yes, but also, let's be real. He deserves it.
He does
With a
deserve it.
deception modifier like that.
He really does deserve it. Just for funsies, roll perception since you're sitting right next to him.
Sure.
That is a 5.
15.
That's a 23.
Yeah,
Nice.
you both hear just the tiniest little shit.
You get like a very gentle bonk on your head from Moria, just like a pat. You know she heard you. She's not telling you off, but she heard you.
Camille,
Look,
just
look, I've been kidnapped way too many times. It's okay to talk about your experiences.
It's
I know.
okay if you don't want to talk about them either, but please let us know if something is up.
Also, let's both kind of just make a promise not to go into sketchy situations without backup?
Camille's just
Moria's
sitting
giving
here.
you both a look, by the way, of please. Look, I might have a job, but heck, I can like go out for a walk with you too if need be.
Look, I forgot to tell my brother where the heck I was going. It backfired on me. I've learned
Ah,
my lesson.
Camille's
that's fair.
literally
I give you my
just.
condolences.
He's just sitting here, man. uh.
You brought this upon yourself, kid. I don't know what to tell you. Also, Sammy handshake Moria. Parent friend.
yeah.
Parent friend, except Moria's actual mom, I guess.
Yeah. Though Marcy did bring up a fun little point. Why don't you, at the mention of brothers, why don't you roll insight?
Oh boy. Come on,
Got-
Moria. That's a 24.
Alright, I'm going to roll a contesting. No, you're gonna get some. Okay, cool.
Gosh
Perfect.
dang it.
Yes! Yes! It's only a
150
15 with.
below.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Sammy.
I.
Sammy's
Well,
not gonna get this.
okay, Sammy, because you were close, you can tell that there is a change to his expression at the mention of brothers. Uh, you can't quite catch it, but it does seem like there's something there. Moria, you can tell that there's a bit of baggage at that, but he changed. But he smooths his expression out shortly after and is back to just being baby.
Morris is gonna casually note that so she can ask him later. Does he. I imagine, well, considering everything, this is the first time Morris is hearing that Camille maybe has a brother. That's the impression she's getting from this, at least.
Don't
Sammy,
even worry about
oblivious.
it. It's fine. But yeah, so he's kind of just sitting there, man. He's being so bullied right now, and is just like, uh, I'll, next time I'll try my best to not run in alone. I'm not even rolling deception
Please
because it
do.
fools nobody.
Yeah, no. Morris like, please do. Even if you want to explore stuff, then at least make sure you have a good an escape route, like up the rooftops or something.
Sammy pulls out.
I'm gonna be real with you. You weigh like a bag of grapes. So like if you're going to go confront a murderer or something, ideally don't do it alone, or if you feel you have to, make sure you're not within grabbing range.
It's
Sammy pulls
fine.
out.
Don't worry.
Pick you. Pick you.
It's fine.
That was a 28 for everyone listening, by the way.
Yeah, you +9 deception, my beloved. Uh,
This
yeah.
is the reason why when Moria's level 9, I'm giving her a level in Rogue just so she has a +8 in Insight.
I mean, you can, uh, you can also do a feat to stack up those expertises and proficiencies, which is how Camille Chic got to the absolute garbage state that it is right now, but
I can't do that at level 9, and like at level 8 I gave her the ability to be strong, so like
fair. So rogue type.
rogue time. She can rogue a bit as a treat.
Yeah.
Uh, Sammy pulls out from his sleeve a little business card and hands it to you, Camille. And it has a phone number on it. And he just kind of leans over, so he's looking at you, Camille, and goes, "If you can, feel free to call me if you need some help on another case or whatever.
Oh, I am putting this right next to Shiro Izumi's information on his fumble chart.
Mori's actually gonna say as well, just like, yeah, I think you already know you can call me, but I'm not I'm not entirely sure where Izumi is right now, but I'm sure
Wait,
he'd be happy to help you too.
did did you just say that out loud?
Yes,
Oh no.
Moria was saying this to
Oh
Camille.
shit. Oh fuck.
Sammy kind of straightens and goes, Azumi.
You know him?
Uh, is it Azumi? Shiro Azumi?
Camille kind of just
Moria's like 20-year-old, taller than a fair bit taller than I am.
uh
Tends to dress pretty smartly.
Camille's kind of just squinting up at uh at Sammy right now. This is giving me a really funny mental image because he's still like 6 and he's just squinting at this grown 6 foot tall toon. Uh he's just
Squinting at this 19-year-old who is currently just kind of like
Who's
having
also
kind
the
of
tallest in this room.
yeah.
who's having a mild crisis right now because no, this can't be the Azumi that Arata was talking about. He just kind of shakes his head a little bit and goes, "No, the Azumi."
Mori is actually gonna look at that and is like, Sammy mentioned his name, right?
Yeah, Shiro Azumi. That's that's
No,
Yeah.
Sammy mentioned his own name, yeah.
oh yeah, Sammy Satomi.
Great. Mori's gonna be, Sammy, you alright there?
Yeah. Um.
Also, please roll insight on her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Uh.
rolling insight on both of you.
Okay. That.
Okay.
Plus one. Uh. Sammy kind of shakes his head and goes, "The I don't know him per se. My brother. The Azumi that I'm thinking about. Shiro Azumi. He's a detective, but he's supposed to be dead. My brother
Yeah, you
saw
see
him
this.
pass."
Yeah, you see this straight on Moria's face, just like, oh, it is the same person. Yup. There's
Same
kind of beat.
Man.
Yeah, no, just very clearly, it's, oh, that's definitely the same person. I wonder if this,
So much
like,
for
if this kid's brother is like one of the phantom thieves Azumi is looking for.
yeah, so much
uh.
for close calls. We hit the target 3 times
Uh,
over.
what can I say? Except you're welcome, and also, look, um, I know Azumi and Camille are like both detectives and have a +9 or whatever to Deception. I'm sorry, but Mori is built different and blurts out her thoughts.
That is very fair. Camille's he's he gets defensive easily, so he's still kind of just squinting at Sammy a little bit, cause like, well, why are you asking?
By
Because
any, it's
my
like, sorry, you speak and then I will.
Sammy just kind of is just like running his hands through his hair, like kind of like in a very obvious trying to self-soothe kind of way, and like it's just like his shading is completely sky blue as he's just kind of like because he my brother thinks he's dead, and if he's not dead, that means he might be a zombie, and that means a zombie is real, and if that's real, I'm gonna have to tell my brother that there is a zombie walking around as his rival.
Sammy, Sammy, listen to me. Calm down. You are handed the cup of tea, by the way.
He is
Yeah,
just
and just
Camille.
chugging the
like
tea at this point because he's a little bit in shock right
Yeah,
now.
Camille kind of.
Sammy, listen to me. Izumi isn't a zombie,
Yeah,
but he was missing for a long time, and we are attempting to put together the pieces. There's like a dot, and
But
well, I suppose
Bravada heard the gunshot. He told me he heard a gunshot. They couldn't find him after it.
he's not the only one with such questions. The only thing I can add is you'd be surprised at what some people can do. I figure it might be good though. Well, I suppose you already know where this place is, and I'll go ahead and give you the invitation to feel free to visit here with your brother at that. I
this,
can call Izumi in a bit.
this is
So if you
absolutely. If I may break character for a moment, this is absolutely
yes.
hilarious because Camille has not received this lore. Camille's just sitting here in between the two of them as they give him so much lore. And I look directly at the Camille and Izumi FPS, because boy, that's gonna be wild.
Yeah, Mori's just gonna be like, great, so Sammy, you and your brother are free to come here. Um, just like, I guess, feel free to say hi. Like, also, kid, I better give you notes on how to not get kidnapped later. And just, I can call Izumi. We can figure out a date so you all can actually meet here.
Uh, Sammy kind of rubs his face and then kind of nods. All of a sudden, like you don't even need to roll. He looks exhausted,
Yeah, Camille.
Sammy is so valid.
Yeah.
and we're probably gonna have to wrap up soon because there's an FPS after us that's coming up.
Yeah, I think it's at a. We have about 12 more minutes
Yeah, but
before
also
that one, so.
Do needs to kind
Very
of
true.
stop soon. So I honestly think we probably could just really quickly wrap this up as both of them, all of them kind of exchange numbers, exchange contacts, kind of with the promise of, hey, let's kind of reconvene later after everyone's kind of not losing their mind a little bit, slash getting revelations that they weren't expecting.
Yeah, because
Well,
Azumi certainly would not have told Camille any of this. Uh, so this is very
this is
hilarious.
gonna be great. I just want to say, if like, roll me a perception, you two, to see if you overhear this. But at this point, Moria is just like goes on the phone, calls Izumi, like,
uh,
Oh, Abby
hey,
obviously,
says,
Avi explicitly says, "Don't call Azumi
yeah, Camille probably
because
would stop Moria, like, because, oh, if he knows Azumi, he knows that this is probably not a good time. Uh,
yeah,
oh,
because there is a
that's a
actually
nat one.
plan. There is a planned reunion that Avi has that wants to put in motion. Uh,
oh, that's totally fair. Sorry about that. Yeah, no,
it's fine.
if that's the case, Moria's just like, yeah, sure, and just. And she, like, Mori at this point is like, wonder what Izumi's reaction will be.
Yeah.
Sammy, I think
Just
will just promise.
wondering.
Uh, I think Sammy's just gonna promise Moria that if he runs into Azumi, that he's kind of Sammy's expecting to run into Azumi at some point. At this point, it's he can tell the plot signs, uh,
Hmm.
and just kind of goes, "I will let you know what happens with everything. Thank you so much for your help."
Yeah.
Uh,
No
and
problem.
I can honestly say that like maybe the screen just kind of goes out to Moria's window and pans up to the sky and then kind of just circles and goes choo boop, into a black screen.
Wonderful. So that was a very fun FPS. And to think they could have gone to the police station.
And to think they could have gone to the police station, indeed. Thank
Like,
you everybody for listening.
why go to the police station when you can go to your detective mom and like get lots of lore by accident?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thanks so much for bringing me in, you two. this was a
This
blast.
was
this was
great.
wonderful.
Thanks. We're gonna say goodbye to our listeners now. Bye, listeners.
Bye, listeners. I hope you had
Bye-bye.
fun. I know that we sure did. Uh,
Yep.
Yes.
I did too. Thanks.
all right. And bye bye.